Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I am so excited for today's video, because it is a cozy hobby weekend in my life. I can't remember the last time I had a weekend where I had next to no plans. I think it's been at least 2 months. So I'm so excited to just be cozy, dive into all of my hobbies. I have so many projects in my queue that I'm working on that I want to start and finish, and I want to dedicate a lot of the weekend to those things. But I have, a long list of things I want to do. So before I tell you about that, I hope you've got a fun project that you are working on, and I would love to hear what you're working on down below. I love to hear about what other people are working on and projects, because I don't really have anyone in my real life to talk about like needlecraft hobbies with. So it's always fun to hear what others are working on, projects or reading, or even like movies you're excited to see. Any of your hobbies I'd love to hear about. But as for me, I have a ton on my list. The first thing on my list, not my first thing to do, but my, I think, number one priority for the weekend is to basically finish my honey scarf. I feel 70% confident that I will be able to finish it this weekend. I think I showed it in my last video a few days ago. I have, I don't know, like 2.5 charts left, maybe 2 charts left to do, maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches. So I think I can get it done. It's all decreases, so it's just going down, which is nice. That makes it go much faster. So that's my first, maybe not the first thing I'm going to be doing, but my top priority is my honey scarf. And then my second, I don't know if I'm going to say it's a goal, but my second like hobby project I want to work on is needlepoint. I think I showed also in my last video in my monthly reset. I have all of this needlepoint canvas. This is 18 mesh. Ooh, I just don't know what to do with it. It's so big. And then I also found this, it's 14 mesh, like that. I don't know. I found this in my craft, like craft drawer. I have these big bins where I keep all of my hobby things. So I thought I would use this because I have it. It's not too big. I know what I'm going to do with it. My big project for the day is to cut my canvas and paint as many as I can. And then tomorrow I will go to the needlepoint store, kit out the canvases, buy all of the threads and yarns that I want. Hopefully they'll be like dry enough by the mid-afternoon so I could start stitching on some of them. But I did spend, I want to say, every free minute I had the past 3 or 4 days on Stitch Fiddler. No, it's called Stitch Fiddle. I always call it Stitch Fiddler, but it's just Stitch Fiddle. So I was on Stitch Fiddle the past like 3 or 4 days, every free moment, just designing little needlepoint patterns nonstop. And I made actually a ton. So I'm gonna get my hobby book and I'll show you what I designed. This is my hobby binder. It's just this big, I don't know, like 3-ring binder. And I don't think I've ever shown it on here, so I'll just show you quickly. But I keep in it now my needlepoint design. So I have a ton that I designed the past few days that I'll show you in a second. And then I keep quilt patterns. So I have like quilt blocks, some quilt patterns. A lot of them are free from fabric companies. Like this one is from Connecting Threads. This one was an Etsy purchase. This was from Andover. I think I downloaded it from, I don't know where, probably Andover. So, okay, all my quilt patterns. And then I also keep a handful of knitting patterns in here. Most of my knitting patterns are on Ravelry, but any patterns that I either have yarn for or patterns I want to keep top of mind are kept in here. So I've just mainly got like sweater patterns. I have the yarn for this, have the yarn for that. Honey scarf, currently making that one. So you get the idea. And then at the very end, I've got like miscellaneous hobby things. So I have the basket weaving pattern from my melon basket that I made. I have my little hand-drawn boutique scissor case pattern and like a quilt design that I kind of just like sketched up. So I'm gonna take my needlepoint patterns out of here to show you what I made. So we'll start with this one, which is my top priority for the weekend. I've actually already, there's a street sweeper going by, I'm sorry if you hear that. I actually already started painting this one and I'm obsessed with it. It is the Statue of Liberty covered in string lights. And I've designed this for 18 mesh and it will be about 9.5 by 3 inches, like the painted section. So here's a better visual. I think it's so fun, so cute. I'm so excited for it. I love the idea of one day having on like my fireplace mantle or something, a New York City landmark Christmas village. So my idea is that I would have the Statue of Liberty, the Brooklyn Bridge, maybe the Flatiron Building, the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, the Met, maybe the Botanical Gardens, all of these different places that are New York City landmarks wrapped in sparkly, twinkly Christmas lights. And it would be in the way that you would have like a Christmas village or a nativity scene kind of set up in these like 3D figures, blocks, I don't really know what to call them. But so the first one I'm working on is the Statue of Liberty. It's the only one I've designed so far for this little series that I have in my mind. And if all goes well with this one, I think I will attempt to make the rest throughout the next year or so. I would love to have them all by next Christmas, but that just feels, I was gonna say like a little too ambitious. I don't know. It feels slightly unreasonable, but I don't know, who knows? We'll see. We'll see how much time I have and how much I want to needlepoint. I find I kind of like get really into one hobby for a few months and then I'll, pump the brakes for a few months and then I'll get back into it. So we'll see. Okay, so that is my first one. My second design is this C monogram coaster. I'm going to use this 14 mesh for these coasters. They're going to be 4x4 inch coasters. This C monogram I found in a PDF like cross stitch font book online. I'll link it down below if you want to make your own like this. I think it's such a fun holiday cheerful alphabet. It's double-sided. I have like the chart blown up on the back so you can see through, but I'm so excited for this one as well. My last name starts with a C, so that's why I did a C. I know I want to use some sort of like sparkly glitter thread for these coasters. I'm not sure if I want the red and the green to be sparkly and like the ivory background to not be, or if I want just the holly leaves to be sparkly. I don't know, I have to do some thinking, but I'm very excited for these coasters. I don't think they'll be finished by Christmas, but whatever. And then speaking of coasters, I do have one more coaster pattern. I designed this coaster pattern based off of a menu from 1903 that was from my great-great-grandparents' Christmas dinner. Every Christmas, they would have a Christmas dinner. I'm not sure who was invited, but they would have menus printed, and my grandfather has some of them, and he shared a scan of the 1903 menu with me, and the cover of it, I'll put a picture, has this same kind of like holly wreath. So I directly copied this wreath as best I could from that scan. And my grandparents' last name, my maiden name, starts with L, so I designed it with an L in the middle. I would love to make these coasters and give them to my grandparents or my parents. I want to make 8 of them, so I need to get started soon. So I will be painting them at some point over the next month or two, but I'm going to prep the canvas today, cut it out, and like put tape around the edges to bind it. So that is my second set of coasters, and I also designed with a C on the back in case I like end up loving these and really want some for myself as well. Okay, so those are the coasters, and then I have one last Christmas specific design, which is this little gingerbread cake. I think it's so cute. It would be so cute as an ornament. I designed one for the 14 mesh in case I have extra left over, and that would be about 1¼ by 2¾ inches painted. And then I have a larger design for the 18 mesh, which would be about 2¼ by 3¼ inches. So I think that would be an adorable little Christmas ornament, a tree ornament. It could also be really cute to do like a Christmas dinner. I really like the idea of these like figurines, these little stand things, like a little Christmas dinner set, just of food you might eat on a Christmas dinner, Christmas day, and have it all just kind of like set up as the centerpiece or part of the centerpiece on the table or on the sideboard with all of the dishes spread out. I don't know, could that be cute? Maybe. That is my last design for Christmas themed designs. I do have 2 more that are for Christmas, but they aren't Christmas-y themselves, and they are my travel ornaments. I mentioned in my last video that I like to buy an ornament every time my husband and I take a trip together, and there are a few places we've been that we do not have ornaments for. So I've decided to design some. So I've made 2, or designed 2. I designed one for our Granada trip that we went on in 2017 and one for our Japan trip that we went on in 2023. And I'm gonna pull out the big, okay, papers so you can see better. So this is our Granada. Okay, I just got a phone call. I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was showing my Granada stamp. So on this trip, we went sailing in or around Granada, which is an island in the Caribbean. So that's why I put a little sailboat on it. And it's a pretty hilly island from what I remember. So I tried to make like the land a bit hilly. And it's got a palm tree and the sun and like the turquoise waters, things you think about when you think of the Caribbean. So I love it. I think it's so, so cute. And I put for the postage 17 because we went in 2017. I can't decide if I want to bump the numbers over and put a little cent sign for the postage. I don't know if it needs it or not. I think you can tell it's a stamp just by looking at it, I hope. But yeah, that is my Granada stamp. I love it very much. And then the second stamp I designed, like very similar idea, same kind of vein, is our Japan trip. And we went in 2023. So again, the 23 is the postage. I have Mount Fuji. I've got, what are these called? Torii gates, Torri. Those gates that are all over Japan in that, like, you know, famous spot in Kyoto. And then cherry blossoms. So I'm very excited for these. They'll be pretty small. I made them, I wrote down their dimensions. 3.5 by 3.75 inches. So they're not gonna be that big, but they will be little Christmas ornaments. And I am going to continue this stamp series throughout all of my other travels. So anywhere, I think anywhere I might have been with Jake, I am going to make a stamp for, even if we have an ornament of that trip, because we do have some really like memorable, fun trips that we went on together. And I like the idea of putting parts of the trip that were meaningful to us on it rather than just, or like specific to our time in that place versus like a generic thing. So for example, Copenhagen, we were staying at a hotel that was right across the lakes from the swan boats. It was called Hotel Kong Arthur. I would highly recommend if you were in Copenhagen. It was lovely. But I would see the swan boats every day and I kept saying, I want to go on the swan boats. I want to go on the swan boats. And we just kept not going or not having time, or they were closed when we would show up or whatever. And finally on our last day, or our second to last day, we went on the swan boats and I loved it. It was such like a kind of like silly touristy thing to do, but it was so much fun. And I think on our Copenhagen stamp, I will put the swan boats. And I think most people would put the, I don't know how to say it, Nyhaven, like colorful old buildings, which are beautiful, like the old touristy, old section of the city. But the swan boats were, for me, maybe not the most memorable part of our trip, but I think like it was kind of like something that was throughout our time there. I kept wanting to go on the swan boats and we finally did. So every time I think of Copenhagen, I think of the swan boats. So my Copenhagen stamp will have a swan boat on it. Long story short, there you go. So those are all of my needlepoint designs. I think right now I am going to go heat up my coffee and then I will cut my canvas, tape the edges, and start painting. So I guess I'll see you in a little bit. Here we have, I don't know, maybe 6 hours of work. I spent most of the day working on this one, and then honestly, it only took me like 30 minutes to do all 4 of these C's. So super, super fast on those, at least. This one, much longer. Whatever. I'm back from dinner. This horrible camera angle, but it's the only way I can set this up. I am watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I'm on episode 7 right now. It's just been good background noise, and I've been working on my key Bowery canvas. I've been doing, I don't know if you can see, maybe you can here, like dark brown kind of throughout. And tomorrow, I think I mentioned I'm going to go to my local needlepoint shop. I need to pick up some thread for the canvases that I painted today and a really dark red, like an almost black red, if that makes sense, for this one. But yeah, I'm just having like a nice little evening, and then I think in maybe an hour or so, I'll probably watch the 8th episode as well, and I'll have 2 episodes to watch tomorrow night. I think there's 10 this season. And then, yeah, I'll get in bed after I finish this 7th and 8th episodes and probably read my book. I'm going to read This One Life tonight. I'm just in like a mindless brain mood. I wanted to also knit a little bit today, but my brain just I think painting those canvases really took it out of me for whatever reason. But yeah, so I'm going to do that, needlepoint for a little bit more, watch my show, and then maybe make like a hot chocolate or a cup of tea. I haven't decided yet. And snuggle in bed and read my book. And sorry, I'm fiddling with my hair so much. That's really annoying of me. I think I do that when I'm like nervous about something. I'm like just twisting my hair. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And that's probably where I'm going to end for tonight. Good morning. I just got back from the needlepoint store. I went to Rita's on the Upper East Side. It's a really lovely little needlepoint store. It is a small shop, but it's cozy. They have a ton. It is, for me, a little bit of like a sensory overload. There's just so much to look at. My mind, I just can't focus on everything, but they have literally everything you could want and need and dream of. And they've got a lot in a really small space, and everyone who works there is just so lovely. It was, I think, my 2nd time there. The first time I went, I didn't buy anything, but this time I did. So I purchased thread for my Statue of Liberty canvas that I think I'm going to start stitching on today. I made a few minor adjustments to it after I finished it yesterday. I was looking at my reference photos. I had like 5 or 6 reference photos of the Statue of Liberty. I was looking at a few like illustrations that other artists had done, 2 or 3 photos of the actual statue, and I realized that I, for some reason, put 5 of these like white spaces down here. I think one of the illustrations I was using as a reference had 5. And then I was looking more at photos of the base online, and there's only 3, and it's like bricks on either side. So I edited that, so there are only 3 of these. And I think when I stitch them, I'm going to make them a little bit taller so they're an even distance from the bottom and the top there. But I'll make that edit while stitching. I don't really feel like getting out my paint things again. But yes, so I'll show you what I got at the Needlepoint store for this canvas. This is the only canvas I purchased things for. And I think I might have gotten a little extra, I'm not totally sure. So I'll start with the string lights, the little light bulbs. So I purchased Silk Lame braid in, how do I know what color it is? SL186. It's this like sparkly red. So that will be for the red, what are these called? Light bulbs. I purchased Silk Lame braid in SL12. And that will be for the purple ones. I think that's a pretty good match. And these are all glitter. I purchased Silk Lame braid in SL52 for the orange. And for the green, Silk Lame braid in SL10. So I think that's a pretty good set for the, what do you want to call them? Why do I keep forgetting that word? Light bulbs, Christmas light bulbs, whatever you call them. Christmas lights, colorful rainbow lights. So these are the 4. I was trying to find ones where the red and the orange were different enough, and I think they are. I don't have any they're not touching ever, so I think they're different enough, and that's fine. So those are my light bulbs. And then for the base, I only picked up 2 browns because I have Vineyard Silk Classic in Bark, which I think is what I'm going to use for the dark brown. But for my lightest shade and my more medium shade, I purchased these 2. So the lighter shade is Sahara, and the medium shade is Toasted Almond. So I'll be using those 2 for the light and medium on the base. And then the darkest sections will be Bark. However, I really do think I'm going to be editing the base as I stitch. I am just not thrilled with like this section here. So we'll see how it goes. I think I'll probably do it mostly in this Toasted Almond color, this middle section, and then I'll just use Bark for some shadowing here and up here and maybe down at the bottom. So that is what I got for that. And then, I also purchased, I think it's just like black, what is it? Jet black for the string light cord, easy. And then I was really struggling with figuring out what I wanted to do for the Statue of Liberty herself. So I purchased 4 shades. I only need 3. Honestly, I might only need 2, and I actually think which 2 I would use. But my Statue of Liberty that I painted is much more blue than the like weathered copper that she is. She's like that green color. So I picked up these 4. They are all Vineyard Silk. The lightest one here is Seafoam. And then the second shade is called Cascade. This third one is Ceramic. And this 4th one is Mallard Green. So I think I am going to end up using these 2 mainly. So the lightest will be, the lighter color will be this one, which is Seafoam, and the darker will be this one, which is Ceramic. And then if I really feel like I need even more darkness, like more shading, I might go in with this guy, which is Mallard Green. I don't know. I have to think, but I know for a fact I'm going to use these two, and this one, Seafoam, will be the lightest, so that's the one I will start with. And I'll do all of the light sections, and then I'll kind of decide if I'm happy with just this as the dark, or if I want a middle shade, which is again Cascade, or if I want like a really dark section, Mallard Green. So I think that's everything Statue of Liberty wise. I also picked up this really cute needle minder by Rachel Berry Designs. It is a little Christmas bow. It felt holiday themed, so I'm excited to use this on all of my holiday canvases. I'm gonna pop her onto the Statue of Liberty right now. Like, that's just too cute. So very excited to start this. I do plan on starting this today, but I have a few other things I want to show or talk about right now before I start crafting. So that is it for, actually that is not it for needle pointy things, because I think this package that arrived from Amazon is needlepoint related. So I'm gonna open it quickly. This is what this is. So it is a big set of stretcher bars. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18-inch bars. So I have a ton now. So I have double 6s, and then I guess one set of all of these other sizes. So that is, oh goodness me. I will pop my Statue of Liberty canvas onto some stretcher bars and start stitching her in a little bit. But before I do that, I have a few other things I want to talk about. Oh my gosh, my hair is a disaster zone, whatever. And that is 2 books that I purchased. Earlier this week, I went to 2 new to me bookstores in Lower Manhattan. The first was called The Mysterious Bookshop, and they only sell mystery, crime, thriller, genre, horror type books. And it was a beautiful store. It had, I want to say the ceilings were like 3 stories tall. It was so tall, and they had these massive wooden shelves just sky high, filled with books. Like, you couldn't even reach, you needed to get on a ladder, or they would have gotten on a ladder to get for you. I don't know what, but it was incredible. It was stunning. They had a ton of books. It looked like they had some used books as well as brand new books, which I really like when bookstores have a mix of options like that. They had a bunch of signed books, and it was just a really fun, cool bookshop. I love a themed bookstore, so I was happy to go in there and check it out. I'm not a huge mystery, thriller, crime book person, but I picked up We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I love this cover. I think it is so fun. I love like the mushrooms on the back growing out of the book, the berries, the cat on the front, all of it. It's just a really lovely design. So I am really happy to add this to my collection. I've always wanted to read something by Shirley Jackson. I just never have. It's not really my genre, but this one seems short enough. I think it's her most popular, or one of her most popular books. And I know, was it The Haunting of Hill House? Did she do that one? Became a TV show on Netflix. I never watched it, but I feel like I should read something by Shirley Jackson, so picked this up. I know it's November, mid-November. It's a little late for like the spooky books, not super, it's like Christmas time now. It's not really Halloween, but I think this could be a good like January, February, kind of like dead of winter type of book too. So happy to add this one. And then we were in Chinatown. I went with Jake, and I had heard of this other kind of themed bookstore called You and Me Books, and they sell, I think, predominantly books written by Asian authors. So I wanted to check them out as well, and they gave me also like a cute little bookmark. There's the name of the store, this cute little dog illustration, and then it's so cute, like really, really cute. And they are on Mulberry Street, right next to Tasty Dumpling, basically, which is like my favorite dumpling spot in the city. And there I picked up Days at the Toronka Cafe by Satoshi Yagisawa. And it is a book about this cafe where it seems like customers have kind of like special experiences and make different connections and whatnot. So I'm excited to read this. I really liked Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and this kind of has like a similar, to me, like the description felt somewhat similar. Like I like the idea of like this third space where people go and these kind of like little miracles or kind of out of the ordinary experiences happen, or they have these out of the ordinary experiences. So I picked this one up as well at You and Me, and yeah, I'm excited to read both of them, have them on my bookshelf. This seems like a really cozy book to just read one day when I want like something nice and pleasant and sweet. The print is pretty big, so like it'll be pretty quick to read through. So adding these two to my shelf, I am getting a new bookshelf this week, and I actually think I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna push all of this down, maybe move this rack of hanging clothes. I just got rid of a bunch of clothes in my closet, so I think I'll be able to fit all of these in there, so I won't need this rack anymore, which would be nice. And then my new bookshelf will go there, I think, and these will be on it. So excited about that. So that I think is everything I wanted to share, like hobby related. I don't remember if I mentioned in the beginning of this little clip or not, but today is November 15th, which is my off the needle deadline that I set for myself for my honey scarf. Will I meet it? Here is my honey scarf. I still feel confident that I will. I'm not sure if I put it in before this or not, but last night I realized that today was going to be the 15th, and I have about 2 charts left. So I don't know. I think here it is folded in half. I think I can do that much today. I feel confident. I am going to extend my deadline to the end of the weekend. So by tomorrow evening, the 16th, I want it off my needles for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself the last 2 episodes of this new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I'm going to work on it then while watching that in the background, and we'll see how far I get with that. And if I finish it, fantastic. If not, that's okay too. I will just keep on chugging along, but I feel like I'm almost there, and I'm in the decreases now, so it just goes by faster and faster once you're decreasing and not increasing anymore. So I feel confident that I will be able to get it off my needles by tomorrow evening. So that is that. I think I'm actually gonna go make myself some lunch really quick, and then I'll do some knitting and watch my show. I have instead decided to start stitching my Statue of Liberty canvas. I'm starting on this, the lightest blue color of the statue. And instead of watching Mormon Wives, since it's still light out, I'm gonna save that for this evening with some knitting and a tea. And so right now I'm listening to The Blue Castle by L.M. Montgomery, which is the author who wrote Anne of Green Gables. So I'm having a lovely little stitchy afternoon. Happy Sunday. It is a cold, windy, chilly day here in New York. I'm not sure if you can hear the wind, but it is so loud. Because it's such a chilly day, I am going to have just like a cozy, snuggly day. I'm in like my snuggly sweater. I've got like a nice cashmere blanket. I have my hot water bottle. I don't want to leave my bed. I have the projector down. So I think I'm going to have kind of like, I don't like it to say this, like a rot day. Just kind of doing whatever. I have bread in the oven. I'm making 2 loaves of sourdough right now. I want to have some butternut squash soup for dinner, so I'm making some bread to go with it. And I'm just gonna do some hobbies. But I wanted to show you a few things before I start crafting, working on my hobbies for the day, and that's 2 little orders that came in. So the first is something I ordered on Amazon, which are these Needlepoint craft bags. I think they're just nylon bags. They're not specifically for needlepoint, but they are full nylon waterproof bags that I am going to keep thread and projects in. So I've already stuffed this one. I don't know if that's what you call it. I already filled this bag with my Bowery Key Chateau Marmont Key Rooney and Pip, Rooney and Squeak, Rooney and Stitch, wait, canvas. Just whacked myself in the face with that. So that canvas and all of the thread are in here for this one. And then this is all of my Statue of Liberty thread. But I ordered these. It's a set of 6 on Amazon. They were $8, and I'm really happy I got them because, like I think I've mentioned, I'm going to Florida for Thanksgiving in about a week and a half, and I'm gonna bring some needlepoint projects with me, so I think these will be really nice to keep the projects in and organized and like keep the sand or water off of things. So very happy with these. And then the second little thingy, needlepoint thing that came in are these little wooden boxes. And they are little drawer boxes. These drawers kind of come out of both of them. And I have seen on Pinterest, people do little matchboxes where they'll needlepoint like a rectangle for the top here. And then they attach it on, and it's like a thick, almost like a nice like wallpaper is used to line the inner box and like the rest of the box. And then people put matches in here, and you can put like on one end or on like the side the match striking fabric material, whatever you call it. So I thought that was a really cute idea. Oopsie, keep dropping everything. I thought that was a really cute idea. I don't have any like needlepoint canvas ideas right now. I know for a fact I don't want to do like a matchbox from like a restaurant or somewhere like that, because we do collect matches. And so I have a big bowl full of matches from restaurants. I think I like something a bit more, honestly, kind of like colonial. I don't know why in my mind I want some like colonial print on the top of this for matches, or like to keep other trinkets in. Like, I don't know what else I would keep in here. Maybe if I keep it like on my nightstand, I would put like any jewelry that I didn't take off in here overnight. I don't know, but I got 2 of these off of Etsy. They were $6 each, I think. With shipping and tax, it came out to just shy of $20. So I'm very pleased with these, very excited to have these and to think of like some needlepoint designs for them. I think once I finish all of my current Christmassy designs, then I will start on these. So that will probably be some sort of like February, March project, but that is what I've got there. Those are the 2 orders that came in last night. And now I figure I'll just give a little update, a little progress update on a few of my current projects. So this is the star of this video. I feel like I am only talking about this project, but I think this might be the last you'll see of this lovely lady in this video, because I am putting her to bed in a minute. But this is my Statue of Liberty. I've gotten this far. I've started doing some of the dark blue sections or like shaded sections, and I've got a few of the Christmas bulbs, light bulbs are in, not too many. I think you can see. I have, when I painted this, I had 3 colors in the Statue of Liberty, the light blue, the dark blue, and then like an in-between to kind of help with shading. I started leaving a few, I think you can see maybe over here, some of the like medium blue spots open, but I don't think I'm gonna do the medium blue. I think I'm just going to do the 2 colors, the light and the dark. So I will go back in with this darker, I keep calling it a blue, it's more of a green, honestly. So I'll go back in with this darker, like bluey green color and fill those in later, probably once I finish the rest of it, or at least like this big chunk at the bottom. But I think I'm going to leave her for today because my top priority, which I set for myself earlier in this video, I think yesterday afternoon, is to finish my honey scarf. I managed to do about 1.5 or 2 more inches yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, and I'm feeling pretty good with where it's at. Let me fold it again. I'm not sure if this is like the best way to measure how much I have left, but I'll show you anyways. Oh, goodness me. Come on. Okay, I've got about maybe that much left. What is that? I don't know how many inches that is. I don't know, but I want to get as much of it done today as possible. Really, this like Statue of Liberty canvas is like really stealing all of my attention. I did not think I would be as in love or obsessed with this as I am, but there's just something about it. I want it finished so bad, which I think happens to me a lot with hobbies and projects that I start. I have the idea, I start it, and then I just get all this momentum and I just want to like push through it, plow through it, like get it done. And then like halfway through, I kind of like get bored of it and move on to something else. And that's why we're in this current situation. That's why this has been on my needles for 2 months, which is just absurd. So that's kind of my plan for the day. I have some bread in the oven that I think I've got like 6 minutes left before I can take the lid off. So I will show you that, and yeah, I will check in a little bit. It is now 7 p.m. I have a little project update on my honey scarf. I have not finished, but I am so close to being done. Oh my goodness. I think I have like 15 rows left. Let's see. I'm almost there. I feel it in my bones. I've got about like that much left. So I will definitely be finishing tonight and blocking it, and you'll be seeing it on the blocking mats by the end of this video, which I am so excited about. I have not been in this location since I think 1 o'clock was the last time I filmed a check-in. It's like 7 p.m. now. I got up, I did a few things. I prepped this whole section of my room for my, let's see, will this turn? Oh, I don't know if I can get this to turn. Whoop. For my shelf that is arriving tomorrow. That whole wall over there is now empty, so I'm excited for that. I made some sourdough bread. I don't know if I put a clip in earlier. If not, I will put it in now. It turned out really well. I'm really pleased with it. It is not my best looking loaf, and I think the crumb is good. It's not great. But it tastes really good. It has like a lovely sourdough flavor. I'm very happy with it. Like I'm still sub 20 loaves made. So I think it's like turned out pretty good. So almost there. I am going to finish this now, and then the next time you see this, it will be finished off my needles. I am so excited. Here it is. Fully off the needles, November 16th, one day after my self-imposed deadline. I am so excited. I have to block it and still weave in the ends, obviously, but this was just an off the needles deadline. It'll be like a little, oh, maybe I can't. Maybe once it blocks, I'll be able to reach it around. Maybe it's just because I'm wearing this turtleneck that I can't. Let's see. Ooh, maybe I can't. I was hoping to be like a little Sophie scarf like that. So I guess maybe, I don't know, is mine like smaller than the others online? I don't know. So maybe it'll just be a little guy, like a little scarf like that, which also works for me and not a problem. I'll do a little double knot on it. Okay, fun, yay. Okay, I'm so excited. I'm gonna stop playing around with it. I'm going to get this blocked. I tend to block and then weave in the ends, and that's what I'm gonna do for this one, no different than how I normally do. I just tied this off in a little knot down here where I joined them, and yes, so let's go block it. I am so excited.